lakhs and lakhs of people used to come. They used to do puja to that beautiful Rath. I mean, they would not even see kaun baitha hai upar. It's ye Ram Lalla ki Rath Yatra, Advani ji le ja rahe hain, and they used to do puja to that Rath Yatra. Atithi pehle aaye. हम तो घर के ही लोग हैं. So अतिथि पहले आए. I think that's the main prominence for that. Now when they say Bhagwan Ram Kalpanik, do you think I should waste my time on these Congress people talking? You just want to decline Lord Ram and that program just for your ego. God bless you. Ram will bless you, and the people of India are watching it. I don't think this whole ideological divide is present anymore. What people want is an Indian voter is becoming smarter and smarter and smarter. What they want is delivery of work.
Hello and welcome to Buzz by the Bay. We bring you this episode from Bandra East, which is part of the parliamentary constituency of our dynamic guest. She delivers fiery speeches in Parliament and champions causes of women's rights and animal welfare. She comes from a prominent political family but has clearly carved her own space. Very pleased to catch up with Poonam Mahajan, Member of Parliament since 2014 from one of India's most prestigious constituencies, North Central Mumbai. Hi Poonam.
Hello, namaste. How are you doing?
Namaste and welcome on the show. Thank you for coming on the show.
So kind of you to have me on this show, Anushka. I'm quite happy.
You're looking wonderful. So, I want to talk about a lot of things with you, right? राष्ट्रीय मुद्दों के बारे में, आपके निर्वाचन क्षेत्र के बारे में, but first I want to start with the topic that is in the spotlight, प्राण प्रतिष्ठा. You know, Ram Lalla ki Pran Pratishtha on the 22nd of January. So it is very significant for you because your father, late Shri Pramod Mahajan ji, was one of the heroes of the Ram Janmabhoomi Movement. He is one of them who led the Ram Janmabhoomi Movement.
He was one of them. My father's my hero for sure. And he was the lucky one who was, I mean, there were millions of car sevaks, and we are grateful to those car sevaks that they are not there, many of them right now, but their families will see what the dreams were made for years and years. My father was actually heading the Rath Yatra. I remember my childhood jumping on that Rath because Rath was made in Chembur. We used to live there. And that Rath Yatra, to the entire change of the nation, how people used to receive that Yatra, how people connected with that Yatra, Advani ji's and Atal ji's respect in that Yatra. It was just a phenomenal thing, and I'm grateful to the Prime Minister that he respected every car sevak, everyone who were included in this, gave their lives, gave their everything for this belief. And now 22nd January, dream come true.
Dream come true. But from what I understand, MPs will not be attending the Pran Pratishtha?
Before 22nd, we can be there after 23rd. The place is too small. And I think it's not like घर की शादी के वक्त में हर किसी ने पूछना चाहिए मैं कब जाऊँगा. I'm excited. I can go tomorrow.
Yes.
But it's not about who's going when. It's about now the मंदिर सबके लिए खुले हो जाएंगे. And we can see प्रभु श्री राम, राम लल्ला के दर्शन हर किसी को होंगे. वो भी उस मंदिर में. That's a blessing for all of us.
So from what I understand, your father, Shri Pramod Mahajan ji, was the one who actually suggested to LK Advani ji that don't do a Pad Yatra from Somnath temple to Ayodhya, but undertake this Rath Yatra. So he was the genius behind this idea.
Yeah, that's... Advani ji had said that in many speeches, and the best part of Bharatiya Janata Party is the leaders are always so receptive. They want to understand what the young minds are. So it's always, I say India has the oldest culture and civilization and belief, and we are the youngest nation. So I think Advani ji believed in him and this beautiful Rath Yatra. I saw so many of these rallies in that Rath Yatra. I wanted to bunk school also, so I could just use that excuse. But I think something was so beautiful. Lakhs and lakhs of people used to come. They used to do puja to that beautiful Rath. I mean, they would not even see कौन बैठा है ऊपर. It's ये राम लला की रथ यात्रा अडवाणी जी ले जा रहे हैं, and they used to do puja to that रथ यात्रा. I mean, you will see these old videos. You'll feel what 22nd January means to all of us in India. And next 1 year, the entire mandir will be ready. So it just in record time, Ram Lalla is going back home. Waited for more than 500 years, but it's just record time he's going home. So I'm grateful.
It's 500 years, absolutely.
Yes.
And then, of course, a Supreme Court verdict, and then everything was sped up.
Because and I feel we are a democracy. The religion I am brought up in and the belief I am brought up in India, that Sahishnuta, you have to follow the law of the land. And I'm grateful to Honorable Supreme Court. Fight was long, many people lost their lives. Today my father is not there to see it. What we have seen as a dream, every Indian, it's not about Poonam or it's not about some member of parliament. We will be celebrating in a bigger way in our constituency. I'm cleaning every temple every morning. I just came from there. We will be doing such beautiful Aartis.
So quite a few prominent people from your own constituency have been invited, right? Quite a few Bollywood actors I've seen on social media.
Yes, yes.
Alia Ranbir and Mr. Jackie Shroff, and
Isn't that cool?
That's very cool. Your own constituency.
So Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, RSS decides the list, and I think they've got prominent people for a reason. That entire nation, and I think it's more than we inviting anyone, they must be also feeling that we want to be there. So it's Atithi Pehle Aaye, hum to ghar ke hi log hain. So Atithi Pehle Aaye, I think that's the main prominence for that.
But there is also a lot of politics surrounding this, right? And one cannot avoid the politics. You know, the opposition is saying that BJP has politicized Lord Ram. Ram Bhagwan ka rajnitikaran kar rahe hain. What do you have to say about that?
I don't like to reply to Congress. They are just such, with respect, because I have lots of friends in Congress. I believe in a proper democracy, and there might be ideological fights. But the problem is beyond that ideological fights, they are so clueless about themselves. They don't know what to do with their They have their own existence issues. They can't question the Gandhi because they don't know how to tie that up. Everybody privately is frustrated, and we have seen many people leaving the party. I think they should be looking at what their party people are thinking. If you go on the road and you just ask people, ये कांग्रेस वाले क्या सोचते हैं, राम लल्ला का राजनीति हो रही है, they will start cursing Congress. I mean, they are such brilliant minds that when the Ram Lalla case was going on, they put an affidavit saying कि भगवान राम तो ये काल्पनिक है. This is just a story to tell. Now, when they say Bhagwan Ram Kalpanik, do you think I should waste my time on these Congress people talking? They're most busy going in an aeroplane and dancing around one clown prince. I'm sorry to put it that way. And then talking about our belief of this nation, which is thousands of years old. I mean, they really frustrate me as a political party.
So, उन्होंने मना किया, they're not coming for the
consecration. Their loss. Ram Lalla का दर्शन ना बोलना. मैं इसको बहुत रूप से, I won't say ये अति पाप है, but when they say no, what does it show about a human being? If someone is invited, you take the invite respectfully.
Yes.
You just want to decline Lord Ram and that program just for your ego. God bless you. Ram will bless you, and the people of India are watching it.
Many people believe this is a big mistake on their part, that they have missed a Ram given opportunity. I mean, not to get into the politics of it too much.
वो सोचते हैं वो राम भरोसे चल रहे हैं, but राम भी ऐसे लोगों पे भरोसा नहीं रखते. That's how it is.
I believe that Ram is for everyone.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a cultural thing in India, not only religious, it's also cultural. And there are people, from what I've heard, that even in Ayodhya, there are Muslims in Ayodhya who also really respect
in my
Lord
constituency.
Ram.
Everybody is congratulating everyone because, see, it's all about belief of a nation. And ये कोई काल्पनिक, it's not a story to tell.
So I want to, talk to you a lot about your constituency. Your constituency is almost like a microcosm of India in a way, right? Because you have affluence, you have slums also.
A lot.
You have religious diversity, you have a sizable Muslim population and a Christian population in parts of Bandra. And of course, Hindu. So it's almost like a microcosm. So what are the challenges that it presents to you?
I don't take it as a challenge. I take it as a very great opportunity to tell everyone that all are my voters. Even after my election, if there are 2.5 lakh voters have voted for another party, they are still my voters. I do not differentiate between a certain caste, creed, nothing. I differentiate between areas. I go to people, and this I started since 2014. I told people, now we have to work on a PPP. So all got confused what this woman is talking about. Is it public-private partnership? I said, no, it's public-politician partnership. So I always worked on this complete nara of public-politician partnership. When there is a society where we are the policy makers, we are going to people, even people have to contribute. So I make everyone that leader to question me, I answer it, we solve it together. So this partnership since 2014 has been so strong for me. I do not worry. Yeah, I do have this wonderful Bandra, Ville Parle, Khar, Santa Cruz, affluent area. Then I have Kurla, Chandivali. We go till Pavai. I mean, it's a large constituency.
Huge.
It's, and I never, that made me very, I'm too positive into going into work, and I don't work on those arithmetics. What I work on, I have worked for you. And we also then question the voters' mind when we are trying to do everything for them, why they will not vote for me. I don't think this whole ideological divide is present anymore. What people want is, an Indian voter is becoming smarter and smarter and smarter. What they want is delivery of work.
So you're saying you don't think that ideological divide is present anymore, or people vote more on vikas
I believe that.
rather than dharma?
Because I believe in my ideology, you believe in your ideology, that's fine. But what is our work? This is democracy. We follow the rule what democracy gives us, what Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar has taught us. If you go in my constituency in certain areas and the other certain areas, just ask Poonam, आपके पास आई थी क्या? अच्छा आप काम लेके गए थे, आप मिले थे क्या उससे? I don't think there'll be any negative impact on this. Oh, we don't want to vote for it. They'll say, नहीं हम गए थे या हम मिले थे या नहीं मिले थे. माने there won't be anything which, oh, BJP वालों को हमने. I never encountered anything which was ideologically against me. Challenges are only issues to resolve. It takes a little time because issues are there for, I won't say with earlier governments, how Congress worked when they were in UPA, pending for 30, 40 years.
Like which issue?
Let me give you a larger issue first. You saw Atal Setu, the Mumbai Trans-Harbour link.
Yes.
I was part of that team for 5 years with CM Mr. Fadnavis. And I saw in 5 years how it just took off, in this Atal Setu, I mean the MTHL, was planned 30 years ago. And nothing happened. What happened in 5 years. Older issues in my constituency, now when you land, people ask me, your constituency is all Bandra. I said, nahi. आप जब land होते हैं और सारी झुग्गी झोपड़ी दिखती है, that's my stronger constituency. Yes. Now that airport land issue has been pending for past 30 years or maybe more. But then I got the permissions done, we have done everything. We just have to now tie up with the airport authority and start rehabilitating these people, where they get their houses, live in a better place and get a better life. So thankfully, whatever we have done with Government of Maharashtra, I get all the policy done very quickly. The Honorable Prime Minister's office is proactive. I mean, we have to be more faster than him. So that also gives us a lot of relief for people living on defence land, airport authority land, many other Government of India land. Railways, now again one more line has been set from Khar. So we are upgrading, and with Government of Maharashtra, you were seeing metros, Shinkansen is coming with Government of India, bullet train, Shinkansen, yes, just out of my constituency here in BKC. I'm happy, it's a collaborative effort and things are turning out good.
You're right, Mumbai is choking, you mentioned earlier, right? And there are issues that haven't been resolved for decades. And you also mentioned slum rehabilitating. So is that underway? Because that is one of Mumbai's biggest issues.
I understand very much, but Mumbai is choking. So what we are working on, when Mr. Fadnavis was the CM, when we were part of that war room, from 2014 to 2019, in 5 years, there were larger projects we worked on. What we worked on it's not only about city of Mumbai from Dahisar Naka to Churchgate, Nariman Point. It's about Mumbai metropolitan region. That's why the Honorable Prime Minister, when Atal Setu was opened, now you can reach Navi Mumbai in next 20 minutes from my home in BKC.
Yeah, fantastic.
So these are the connecting. So Naina project, where the new airport is coming, that project has to take off. Then how do we connect online with people? So a lot of things just happened in this planning, which was just discussed by the grand old party for 30, 40 years. But we actually tried to make it happen in 5 years. And if we get more strength from people, I think we would like to perform it much faster. So these are the important things. It's not only about Mumbai as a city. Of course, my constituency is very dear to me. It's about Mumbai metropolitan region, which has 10 Lok Sabha constituencies.
You're right. You have to think of it as the MMR, the Mumbai Metropolitan Region. So it's good. I'm glad that the focus is all this, and we look forward to seeing a lot of positive changes in Mumbai in the coming years. Interestingly, you mentioned how the PMO's office is so proactive.
Yes.
So they're involved. They're fully aware of the work in your constituency.
Very much. If someone complains more than 2 or 3 times that something has not happened in my constituency, and they think it's the Member of Parliament's job, that email comes to me ASAP.
Really?
And it's come only twice to me, so I'm grateful.
Okay.
But in these 10 years, the follow-up is quite strong. The Honorable Prime Minister and the PMO, their work, the ministers, I mean, it's quite a collaborative effort. But the PM's office, bang on. If I need any help to a poor person for their operations and anything, quick response. So everything is working in that manner. And I think our nation needed that change.
Would you say there's a whole lot of more accountability? And Modi ji himself is so hands-on.
Oh, he's so hands-on that sometimes we forget our topics, but he will always remind us, which is fabulous. Very few people I have seen in my life who can take so much knowledge and give more than that. So he's brilliant. I mean, the time I've spent with him as my Prime Minister or before that, it's always been very enlightening and very much learning. If I have to give him something to learn, he'll take it from me. So he doesn't have an ego. If I say, sir, hum aise karenge ya kuch aisa issue jahan se youth, he will quickly pick it up. He'll say, Poonam, why don't we talk about it more?
So Modi ji interacts a lot with, younger MPs and stuff.
Especially as MPs, we have every Tuesday meeting when we have Parliament session. So he's never missed that meeting. Never. He says, I'm also a member of Parliament. I should be part of it. And I just note down everything, which helps me in coming time for information, for work. So yes, it's been fabulous. So it's a party meeting where we decide for next 1 week what will be happening, how the Business Advisory Committee has decided, who will be speaking on which bills.
So interestingly, coming to that, you recently made a speech in Parliament on the new Bharati Nyaya Samhita.
BNS.
You spoke about stricter punishment for those who sexually assault animals. You're very much into animal welfare.
Yes, it's not only animal welfare, women,
Yes.
youth. I spoke on triple talaq, which was on a different aspect. I put it as a girl, how do I feel about triple talaq?
Yes, I heard that.
Kashmir, we spoke on how the youth is, because I was the youth wing president for 3 years, and that was a big opportunity for me to see India. Animals are voiceless. They are not voiceless, nobody listens to them. And there was in 377, there was a certain way we could have looked at if an animal is sexually assaulted, which happens quite a lot.
Really?
Yes. Let me put it this way. Cows, dogs have been raped, and those rapists just go scot-free. We need some kind of, and I've been speaking this very openly, I've been writing letters to my government, and I know they'll work on it. Even the act where we need some amendments on cruelty on animals. And I got a positive reply from the government. Maybe they'll work on it in coming times. It's not easy to put in something right there in the bill.
Yes.
But I have full faith my government will surely work on my compassion issue.
So they have responded positively.
Of course, yes.
And
yes.
they will make the necessary amendments as and
It'll
when.
take time,
Yeah.
but it will happen.
Okay, that's great. So another issue, when these bills were passed, there was a lot of controversy happening in Parliament, right? Opposition MPs, 146, have been suspended. and these bills were passed at that time. And there is a criticism that discussion and debate is an essential part of democracy, right? आलोचना और बहस भी महत्वपूर्ण है लोकतंत्र के लिए.
Absolutely. But you can't just make a natak company in the parliament. See, I'm a young parliamentarian. I mean, I don't know how young, but
you are young. You are very young.
Parliamentarian. It's been almost 10 years now for me in parliament. I've seen when I was a child when my father used to give these fiery speeches, when the opposition also used to speak so well. Atalji used to just get up and we used to be just in awe from that gallery watching him. Those were the times. आलोचना थी, लेकिन अवहेलना नहीं थी किसी की. People were not putting someone down just for the sake of it. Now if you see the discussion in parliament, it's all about dirty tricks. And because the cameras don't show how dirty they are, because I don't think Lok Sabha TV want to show the nation how big a drama these people create, throwing papers on the speaker's face, and thankfully this new parliament is larger, so they have to scream more, louder. But the drama they do, and the language, derogatory language, the way they curse and they talk, it's embarrassing for Loktantra, it's embarrassing for democracy. And what decision the Honorable Chair has taken, there must be a lot of deliberation behind it, because every time Honorable Speaker was saying, हमने बात की थी, हमने तय किया था कि हमारा डिस्कशन होगा, आप अभी मुकर रहे हैं, आप अभी मुकर रहे हैं. When the speaker is saying this every time, that means they are not participating in democracy. They're not participating in discussion. They just promise something else, which is a Congress fashion. Promise something else and do something else. Is this going to help them? Is it helping my country?
Right. But you do agree that criticism and debate and even protest is part of a healthy democracy.
It's not me, the Honorable Prime Minister. Everybody agrees. I mean, that's what the Constitution is made out of. You're free to question me. I'm free to answer you. Lekin again, I'm saying, na, tamiz or there is a fine line in between that behavior. They cross it all the time. I mean, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, when he enters in the parliament, he's thinking, oh, koi movie cinema theatre mein aaye. I mean, I request the Honorable Speaker's office to put the camera when he comes in. And they sit and chat. Okay, we all chat. Then he plays on his phone. Okay, fine, we all hold our phones. It's not like, these are very silly things. But when he's giving a speech, you have to look at the chair. Now, you're a member of parliament for 15 years. We have learnt in the second and third year. You're giving a bhashan. Then you try to do something. आँख मारते हैं, पपियाँ देते हैं, प्रधानमंत्री को जाके गले में, मतलब ये क्या तमाशा चला हुआ है? कुछ तो तमीज़ रखे ना.
Some years ago, late Arun Jaitley had said that protest is the right of the opposition, right? I mean, you should. It is very much the right. But what you're saying is that tamiz rehni chahiye. Like, you cannot cross a line.
Yeah,
so they have crossed a line.
They have crossed a line many times, and we have seen it.
Moving on, you said you'd also spoken on triple talaq. Instant triple talaq is now unconstitutional. It's illegal, right? And you had responded to Mr. Owaisi in Parliament. I've heard your speech. It's a fiery speech. So, do you think that taking up this issue has been beneficial for for Muslim women?
Oh God, I can't tell you. So when I spoke in Parliament, of course, Mr. Owaisi is a fabulous speaker. I listened to him. He's a very reputed member of Parliament, and after Owaisi Sahab, I started speaking, and I spoke as a woman again. How do I look at how my father look at me? Because he was saying, "Hamari biwi," some really senseless talk he was giving, and actually he's a great speaker, and he just was giving some senseless argument. After my speech, I spoke how my father taught me, he and she. And I gave an example, which I always give everyone. I studied in a Marathi medium school. So English was like dur tak was not very close to me. I learnt English much later in my life.
English is excellent.
No, don't tell this to my other friends from South Mumbai. They're quite upset with that. So, but I learnt, see, English is not my language, but content is correct. That's what is very important. And I'm not ashamed how the English should be. So that doesn't matter to us. But interestingly, there I said when I was in school, we were learning Gopal come here, Sita go there kind of English. It was nothing much to learn about. I asked my father a very silly question which actually impacted me much later in life. What do you mean by he and she? He said, he's a he and she's a she. I said, what do you mean by he's a man and she's a woman? I said, फिर he तो दोनों में है, S क्यों लगाया है? He said, because S is before the he, because superior to he is she. And which didn't mean anything to me at that time. I see, क्या बोल रहे, कौन सा शब्द है? But now when I'm working, that equality, when a woman gets that she's superior to he, which we in our party believe in it. The Honorable Prime Minister always said, my government is a woman-led government. I want women to lead this nation. And we can see it with scientists, with policemen, with everyone in army. After my speech, I must have got hundreds of calls. All of India, Didi, बहुत धन्यवाद हमें बचाने के लिए.
So do you think this triple talaq issue, I mean, it came up in 2019 after the last general election.
Yes,
it was
Yes,
unconstitutional shortly after the election,
Yes,
right?
yes.
In I think July, August. You think this will get you more Muslim women votes in your constituency this time round?
That I'm not looking at. They are happy is more happiness to me that a woman is empowered. What I would like women to do, if they vote for me, fabulous. Men vote for me, fabulous. I'm talking only about financial independence for women. Because it's not like I'm telling them कि मर्दों को हराओ और आगे जाओ, nothing like that. A woman who's sitting at home or going out or doing anything needs her little bit of freedom for herself. And a woman is always giving. She never takes anything for herself or anybody. So it's very important for all of us to look into this. And in my constituency, Muslim, Hindu, koi bhi ho, I created this huge self-help group called Poonam Mahajan Self-Help Group. And I've got 20,000 women attached to it. And we do a lot of things, interesting things for women. I'm not looking at it, अरे अच्छा हो गया, इससे अभी 20% ऊपर जाएंगे, इससे. That doesn't matter. Maybe I've seen so much of politics in my life, my father's ups and downs, my ups and downs. I don't look at things that way. But I need to perform because people have given me that responsibility.
You have the mandate, and of course, you know,
I'm
you have to
grateful again.
you have to perform. And now, so you've been in, you won twice. You think it'll be a hat trick this year?
That's up to the honorable people of my constituency, but most importantly, my party. When the party decides who contests from where, and once the party gives a go-ahead to anyone, then we will give our life to it.
Going back to what you said about about Modi ji talking about women and how he wants a women-led government, you are the only female MP from Mumbai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And one of the 8 from Maharashtra.
Yes, and other 7 are fabulous, brilliant, impactful, but I'll tell you something. We passed 33% women's reservation bill, Nari Abhinan.
Yes, I know.
And but before that also, the maximum women MPs came from BJP. So it was not only talking; it was performing. So we didn't want any reservation for women. We wanted the best of women MPs coming that way. Right. So we try to balance both sides. And I don't know, I mean, as a woman, actually, we get more empowerment because we can concentrate on 30 other things at the same time.
Yes,
Maybe it's in our
multitasking.
DNA, yes.
You are a mother of 2, you know,
Yeah.
and look after children, and you probably have to be in Delhi for Parliament a
Yes,
lot.
yes.
So it's a hard task. I mean, it's not an easy job.
I think it's quite easy. I'll tell you why. A, because I'm a woman. It's though tough, but we make it quite easy to show. And second, I'm a very scheduled person. Everything is all about how do you schedule yourself and work with yourself. How do you calm yourself down? People learn.
Talking about women's empowerment. So this is again a controversial issue. There is some criticism that maybe more BJP female leaders should be speaking about certain issues. Like let's say the wrestler issue. Or, you know, some time ago when the 11 rapists of Bilkis Bano were given remission. Now, of course, the Honorable Supreme Court has reversed that decision. But there are voices from certain areas that say we wish BJP women leaders would speak more about these issues.
How do you know we are not speaking about certain issues?
Alright,
Everything has
publicly.
to be a drama? No. See, I told you, on public platform what we have to speak, and on a platform of party, we have all the democracy to speak. If something is not right, it's always being conveyed. and it's never been questioned that how dare you convey like this. We are not in Congress, we are in Bharatiya Janata Party. We have very good democracy, we can say anything. Second, when you look at, you're talking about women leadership, the first ever full-time defense minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, after 70 years. First ever female full-time finance minister, Nirmala Sitharaman. We have more women ministers from tribal areas and from cities. I think everything is not about saying. Sometimes things to be done are actually the answers to it.
Okay.
That does not mean for a certain issues we are not upset about it, but we do talk about it on a platform. Everything doesn't have to be a drama and tamasha कि हाँ कैमरा दिख गया और मैंने बोल दिया मुझे पसंद नहीं मुझे ये नहीं. I think I should tell the right ears what should be done than making a mockery of it.
Correct.
That's what we believe in BJP.
Everything doesn't have to be a media blitz, you're saying.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So just because it's not said on air doesn't mean that you haven't spoken about it or told the right people about it.
There's always churning discussion. I was heading youth wing, imagine. My boss was Honorable Amit Shah. He was the party's president. I was the youth wing president. So many times I said, Bhai, this has to be done this way. And they have taken it very positively. Now, is it my job to go on the camera and say, ye meri sun li, wo kar liya? I think that's again badtamizi to do with the work it's been given to you. So maturity is also required.
Maturity, and I suppose there's a party protocol one has to also follow.
Protocol, no, it's party protocol of course, but protocol of being a public policy maker, protocol of being a proper person. Being proper also is very important. Protocol har cheez ke liye hona chahiye. That's what I believe in.
So, you were of course very young when your father was with Atalji's government, and you were a young kid at that time. But from what you know, right, what do you think is a major difference between BJP then and BJP now?
It's the same Bharatiya Janata Party. The base of ideology is the strongest then and now. From 1986 April and now today is 15 January 2024. So it's the same base. So Bharatiya Janata Party बदली नहीं है, विचार वही हैं, हमारा आचरण भी वही है. Atalji's time and Modi's time, there are times which are different. That time it was a coalition government. We tried our best to perform for people. People loved Atalji. I mean, we used to call him Babji and Advani ji Dada. So it was never Atalji ke ghar ja rahe hain, Babji ke paas ja rahe hain. And Babji was of course everybody's favorite. His language skill, his talking, his presence as a leader, just so delightful, so wonderful. It was not a strong presence that you're, oh God, Atalji is here. It was like, Atalji is here. It's so wonderful to see him. So every leader has its own way to do things. Atalji was more, he knew that he was having 30, 40 parties with him to work with it. My father was coordinating, sometimes they used to say, na, kabhi Mamta root jati, kabhi Jayalalitha root jati, kabhi Samta root jati, which is now JDU. So they used to make fun of that, but Atalji Krishna Kanhaiya ki tarah khade aur sabko samjha rahe hain. So that was that time, and that was the coalition government. Now, when all our ideology is intact still, the Prime Minister comes with this massive mandate. Now it's time to perform. It's time to do what we promised to the people.
You're right. I mean, managing a coalition government is very different when you come in with such a resounding mandate like Modi ji has come in. And from what I understand, of course, now from what you've explained to me, the way Parliament works and the involvement that the PMO has with every constituency, from what you explained to me, I think it's a very modern way of running a government.
Yes, and it had started. I remember my father had this laptop and it was too new and too expensive. So he was the Parliamentary Affairs Minister in 2000 maybe. So he had all parliamentarians class to learn the laptop. He said, now we have to learn to have online questions. But that was too early to say. Now we have online questions for past few years. So things were turning and different, but that impact comes in a slower time. So people were there with vision and delivery just happening now. So it's quite interesting to see it.
What are the biggest political lessons you've learned from your father?
Never thought of it. So my father used to be, my mother always, I'll give you an example. 2009 I contested a Vidhan Sabha. Overconfident of being my father's daughter, harungi kaise? and I lost miserably. It was such a terrible loss, just right next door constituency, and I never thought I'll lose. That arrogance, of course, younger girl, and I accepted that arrogance that I made a mistake, so that helped me a lot. My mother came up to me and said, I was depressed, sad, why did I lose? Everybody won. And younger girl at 28, what she will think. She came to me, your father has seen so many defeats. But your father was in Marathi, they say, कि जिथे लात मारेन तिथे पाणी काढेन. Wherever he'll kick, the water will come. Water is prosperity. When BJP had really few people, had a very less presence, your father was so charismatic, believing kuch acha hoga. He saw so many defeats. He lost in 1984. It was so difficult. There was no money in the pocket. एक कुर्ता दो कुर्ते थे, पूरा महाराष्ट्र घूमो, पूरा देश घूमो. My mother used to say वो धोके सफ़ेद भी नहीं हो पा रहे थे. So he saw so much. The platform you have is so comfortable, and you're crying over your own mistakes which you're not accepting. Your father, tallest leader, accepted his own mistakes and performed better. And that hit me, that what I saw since childhood, like a fool, I've forgotten all that. So I think, and my father, one more thing I learned, all are your friends. Ideological differences are understandable. So across party, I have lots of friends.
Now, 2024 elections are coming up.
Just a few months to go.
So on what platform do you think your campaign will be focused?
Again, trying to do better. There are a lot of unfinished work. Again, airport land, my defense land, metros have to be pushed more. Many things, and we need to work on this. It's very important.
So it will be centered more on like the issues of your constituency, आपके क्षेत्र के मुद्दों पर और राष्ट्रीय मुद्दों.
मेरी ताकत ही मेरी constituency. When I sit in that parliament is because these people voted for me. Now, my whole focus for past few years has been a right policy. The foundation of any good work is that policy to be made. So I work on those policies. So that's what I want to do. It's there also.
Absolutely. And lastly, can you give us some mantras for success for our audience?
Oh my.
Yes.
I don't think I'm any guru to give mantras. I just want to tell everyone, this nation India, Bharat, is really on a very great progressive path, speeding up to be the world leader. The entire world is looking at India as a bright spot. And I'm requesting everyone to be part of that bright spot. Aapka sapna, desh ka sapna hai. An Honorable Prime Minister has always said, Vikasit Bharat, 100 years, 2047. Before that, this young generation are going to speed up our India and take it forward. I think that's the only mantra I can give. And no defeat is final until you stop trying. As my father said, I tell everyone else. We have to keep on working. Never say die, they always say. So we need to work on it positively. A positive work will always convert into a very positive, good impact on people.
Great. Never say die. Work positively. Fantastic mantras. I'm sure that will inspire a lot of people.
I hope so.
And thank you so much, Poonam, for joining us on Buzz by the Bay. That was a really enlightening, nice discussion. And it's good to see your passion.
You've been very kind. So thanks to you and to FBJ. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anushka ji. It's been wonderful to chat with you.
Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, ji.